This is Rock and Roll English. Real people, real English. Here's your host, Martin Johnston.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Rock and Roll English. Episode number 123, baby. Oh yeah. And we are getting in that Christmas spirit today because, you know, it's nearly Christmas. So I speak to Corporal Coma. But before we begin, I have to tell you there is some good news and unfortunately some bad news. Well, in fact, just to make it even worse, there's 2 bits of bad news and only 1 bit of good news. I always think it's best to start with the bad, so let's do that. There was another small problem with recording. Corporal Coma's microphone, for the first 13 minutes, perfect. The best microphone ever. Then for some very strange reason, it stopped working. So you've got 13 minutes of beautiful audio and then about 6 minutes of not the best, okay? I think this is a really good challenge though this time because first of all you can listen to the first 13 minutes, you know, get used to his accent. Then you can take off the armbands and swim alone, okay, with shit audio. So that's the first bit. The second bit of bad news is that there will be a little break from the Monday podcasts. Obviously because it's Christmas, you know, I want to spend a bit of time with my family just to make sure they haven't forgotten who I am. So there will probably be a 2-week, maybe 3-week break for the Monday podcast, but I will be back in the new year and I will be rocking. This doesn't affect the Rock and Roll English family members, of course. They will still have a podcast every day. Another one of the benefits of being part of the family. Just remember that next time I open up membership, hey? Always got to try and put in a little bit of marketing there, haven't you? I don't have any sponsorship on the podcast, okay? Don't kill me, okay? Anyway, the good news. Finally, let's get to the good news. The good news is because I'm feeling generous, because it's Christmas and stuff like this, I'm giving the transcript to everyone for free, obviously. You know, I'm not saying I've got a Christmas present, but you have to pay me. So if you go to the website, rockandrollenglish.com, you will find all of the rock and roll vocabulary. And you will find the transcript to this podcast, baby. Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's enough of me talking. Here is the conversation. Happy listening. Corporal Coma, how are you today?
I'm very good, Martin. Very, very good.
Thanks. Thanks for asking how I am as well, Coma. I'm fine as well. Okay?
Do not care how you are.
Well, thank you very much. Great to have you back, Coma. You're back by popular demand. I think that's the term, isn't it?
It is, but I think you're.
Does that exist?
I think you're buttering me up. I don't think anyone's demanding me to be back.
We're going to have to stop for a minute there. We had way too much rock and roll vocabulary in the first 10 seconds here. So when I said back by popular demand, it means that people were asking for Corporal Coma. And Coma said that I was buttering him up. I can't even say that. Buttering him up. So when you do that, it's when you say nice stuff to someone to try and make them feel good, which I'm not doing. I would never do that to you, Coma. I actually got a message from someone, which I think I sent to you on Instagram that said, I kind of like Corporal Coma's accent. First thing to say there is, you know, everyone's more or less got the same accent. But the second thing is that she said that she loves your shitty but funny stories. Okay?
Well, I mean, I'll take that. Normally they're just shitty. So, I mean, if I'm getting funny, I'm taking that.
Good on you. Good on you. You do that. Shitty but funny. Okay? That is definitely an improvement. Anyway, Corporal Coma, how do we usually start the show?
We started with a review.
Oh, yeah, baby. Do you think we have a review?
I'm very confident that we do have a review.
Well, we do have a review. Well done. Very confident there. I like that, Coma. I like your confidence, okay? It makes me feel confident. It's from someone called Bruno Bianchi. I said that with a kind of English pronunciation. I don't know if that's an Italian name. Sounds quite Italian. It was quite long, so I've just gone for the best bits where it says, I'm completely addicted to this podcast. I've been listening for 2 months. 1 episode a day whilst I walk to work, and I can't stand serious for a long time after I put my headphones on and start playing it. Really great stuff. Thanks for all the good times that I have listening to you, and keep on rocking. Oh yeah, baby. What do you think about that, Coma?
Well,
no mention of you, obviously.
No, but Bruno's always been a good lad, so.
Remember, lad there is like a boy. He's always been a good boy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Bruno. Okay, Coma, so I think I've actually told you what today's show is about. Well, I don't think. I know I told you. Because we're getting in that Christmas spirit, aren't we, Coma?
Oh, I love it. Honestly, it's my favourite time of the year. Absolutely love it.
We're just going to start with a few kind of facts about Christmas in different places and then just go straight for some Christmas questions, Coma. Can you handle that?
Oh, I was born ready.
Oh, yeah, baby. So when I said, can you handle that, I mean, can you manage that? So the first one to start off with is in Japan, actually, because I read again on a website. I don't know if this is true. I know there are many people that listen in Japan, so please let us know if this is true. But people traditionally eat KFC for Christmas dinner in Japan. So KFC is like a fast food restaurant. Which I find very strange. Have you ever heard about this, Coma?
Well, I mean, the fact that you said tradition, KFC isn't that old. So,
well,
I don't understand how that's a tradition.
Well, it's been going on for 40 years. And speaking of traditions, Coma, this has just popped into my mind, and Christmas. This works quite well. About 5 years ago, Corporal Coma said that we have to go to a specific pub on Christmas Eve because it's tradition. And we had never been there in our lives.
Right, you're bang wrong. I mean, we've been there loads of times, and we'll be going there again on Christmas Eve this year.
It's tradition now because it started about 5 years ago, but just 1 week, it's like, oh, well, it's tradition. Really? I mean, I've never been there, but okay.
You're wrong.
Sounds good.
You just forgot that we've been there.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, yeah, so this tradition of KFC has been going on for 40 years, apparently. I thought I'd ask you, though, Coma, what's your favourite fast food restaurant? I mean, they're called restaurants, aren't they? But, you know, is McDonald's really a restaurant?
No, that's using the word restaurant very loosely.
Yeah, exactly. Lovely rock and roll vocabulary there. They're very loosely, like, not in a strict, tight way, let's say, because you're calling anything a restaurant.
See, the benefit that we have being in London is that you can get anything delivered to your door at any point. So I can get McDonald's delivered to my door in like 5 minutes.
That sounds amazing. Oh, what a wonderful place you live in. I noticed you said the thing about us in London. I mean, I don't live in London, Corporal Coma, but...
No, but I mean, not 9 million other people do, so...
I'm so happy that you can get McDonald's delivered to your door in 5 minutes, though. The thing is, when you get food delivered, it always comes and it's always a bit sort of wet, isn't it? It's just almost like humid. It's just a bit disgusting.
No, it's fine. Because the actual thing is the McDonald's is only about a 10-minute walk away. So
you're just too lazy to walk 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got my pyjamas on. I'm watching TV. I mean, I'm not going outside. It's cold.
You're painting such a wonderful picture of your life, of just sitting there like on a Sunday with your pyjamas on, and you know you can't be bothered to walk 10 minutes to a McDonald's and you get it delivered to your house.
Well, it's good for the economy, you know. There's a fella that delivers it. The company does well, you know. I'm looking out for everyone.
Sure, helping out the sort of little man by, you know, paying McDonald's. Sure, Coma. Sure. Anyways, another thing I've got here about Christmas, which I think I had heard before, was that during World War One, obviously the Germans were fighting with the British, and then they just decided to stop fighting for a bit, and they gave each other gifts and played football.
I was actually reading about it the other day. That's a myth. It's not actually true.
Oh, it's a myth. Okay, so rock and roll vocabulary. A myth is something that is a story which many people think is true, but is actually not true. Coma has just debunked that myth. Oh, that's probably the most formal word I've ever used on the podcast.
Yeah, I've never heard you say that word before. That is mental.
I learnt it about a week ago. It's just that's the best, isn't it? When you learn a word and you have that opportunity to learn to use it. Wow, this has been a success. Whatever happens.
And you used it in the right way as well. It actually made sense when you said it, yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I often try and learn sort of posh vocabulary, and then I use it, and then someone says, you know, you're not using that right. Like, oh, fuck. I'll just stick to my 2-syllable words. All right, well, you've just completely shit all over that then, Coma. I wanted to talk about that, but there's nothing to talk about.
Well, I mean, it was on the BBC. It was a really good article on the BBC website. I'd actually encourage other people to read it. It's not quite true. There's an element of truth to it, but it's certainly not as true as people think it is.
Oh, well, thanks for that, Comer. You're always such a joy to have on the podcast. A killjoy, I think, is a good way to describe Corporal Comer. That's a very nice term, and it's very simple, really. Someone that just kills your joy, okay? And that's exactly what you've just done to me, Comer. So thank you very much. Another thing here, you're probably going to tell me this isn't true as well, that the Christmas tree in Trafalgar Square is sent to London from people from Norway, apparently, for help during the World War, the Second World War. Did you know that one?
I didn't know, but I very much try and stay away from Trafalgar Square or that kind of area of London a lot, so wouldn't know. Yeah,
it's not really a place where sort of local people go. Many people think that they do, but, I've been there about once or twice in my life. And then apparently there's another place in Canada, Nova Scotia, I think is how it's pronounced, that send a Christmas tree to Boston as a sort of thank you for their support. I was thinking, Comer, you could maybe send me a Christmas tree if you want for my support that I give you every year, especially on your birthday when, you get a year older, because you're almost a year younger than me, and I always give you that support of like when we turned 30, for example. I knew you were worried about turning 30, so I just gave you a bit of support and said, it's okay, don't worry about it. I'm here for you.
To be fair, I actually do. You send me a message every year. You've got a bit slack in the last few years, but you used to send me a message about 12:05 in the morning every year and go, happy birthday, mate, and give me some advice. And I used to like that, but you've fallen back a bit recently, haven't you?
Oh, I go to bed at sort of 10 o'clock now, though. That's the problem, Comer. I can't stay up till midnight. I want to. You need something of one of those like boomerang emails where you can set a time to send the text message. That would be perfect. And I would do that. Some rock and roll vocabulary there, though, when Comer said you've become a bit slack. Slacking off is another term you could use when you're not meeting your previous standards, which unfortunately I'm not because of my 10 p.m. bedtime. Anyway, about Christmas trees. Have you got a Christmas tree, Comer, this year?
I'm literally sitting right next to my Christmas tree now. Yeah.
Yeah, with your McDonald's in front of you?
No McDonald's, just a cup of tea. No McDonald's.
Okay. I haven't got anything Christmassy in my house. They're expensive, aren't they, Christmas decorations?
Well, I mean, to be fair, the last 3 years we've been to Switzerland in December and we go and buy Christmas decorations, me and Mrs. Corporal Comer. And so the tree's full of Swiss Christmas decorations, which I'm very proud of.
Wow, now that sounds like a real sexy Christmas tree.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to spend any money on. I just don't like spending money. Full stop. That's why I'm wearing the same jumper that I've been wearing for the last 10 years.
I know.
Sure,
I could see the jumper, and I didn't want to bring it up, but you have.
Lovely rock and roll vocabulary there as well. I didn't want to bring it up. I didn't want to start talking about it. Although it just seems to be, every time I talk to you, I have this jumper on, Comer. I just thought about it as soon as I saw you.
No way. You've got that jumper on every day. You're going to get buried in that jumper.
So buried is when you die and they put you under the ground. It's a warm jumper, though, so I'm up for that. If I die, I've got it on record now that I want to be buried in this jumper because it's a warm jumper. But yeah, I do have other jumpers. Admittedly, all of my other jumpers are 10 years old as well. But I do have other jumpers. So anyway, Comer, let's get to the more Christmassy stuff, okay? Just some straight out hardcore Christmas questions, okay? So I got these from conversation questions on Google about Christmas. Number 1, do you believe that people behave differently at Christmas?
Yeah, I think they do. I think people are nicer to each other. I think that people drink a lot more and therefore maybe are nicer to each other and sometimes not as nice to each other.
Well, yeah, because generally drinking involves fighting, so that's not really the case. And especially when you're in London at this time of year, it's terrible because you get on the tube, especially on a Friday, any time after like 8 p.m, and it's just full of people that are just fucking shit-faced. So remember, shit-faced when you're very drunk. Speaking of people being nice at Christmas, though, I remember once Corporal Comer was getting the train back to London from Chelmsford, from where we're from, didn't have a ticket, and then they stopped him, wanted to fine him, and I remember your excuse that you said to him was, "Come on, mate, it's Christmas."
Yeah, absolute arsehole. He weren't buying it. I had to pay the 20 quid. I was really annoyed.
So when he said that he wasn't buying it, it means basically he wasn't accepting this shit excuse. And too right as well. What a shit excuse that is. Like, people don't need to buy train tickets because it's Christmas.
No, I mean, that's not true. I mean, it's Christmas. People are...
Oh, just forget about buying train tickets then. It's fine, okay? Yeah. You know, if you're paying rent in a house, just say to your landlord, it's Christmas. I don't want to pay this month. And they'll say, okay, sure, no problem. Anyway, speaking of money and Christmas time, I was at a church bazaar fairly recently. What's a church bazaar, Corporal Coma?
It's basically where you can buy and sell stuff that no one wants at a church.
Exactly. I love it though. There's nothing more Christmassy than a church bazaar. I bought something. It was actually supposed to be €2, but you know, it's Christmas, so I said I'll give you 3. She gave it to me. I gave her €5. She gave me €2, and she gave me one of those €2 coins. I then went out later to spend that €2 coin, and then I realised she gave me a fake €2 coin. So I got fucking mugged off by the church. So when you get mugged off, it's like when they cheat, let's say, and do something like not honest to you.
I mean, that's a nightmare. A nun giving you fake money.
Well, she wasn't a nun. It was just someone helping out at the church. So the nuns are the people, like if you've seen Sister Act, for example, then you probably know what a nun is.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great film as well.
Exactly. But yeah, I've still got this fucking €2 coin. It's actually a 500 lira coin.
I can honestly imagine you've been trying to spend that every day for the last 2 weeks.
No, I'm too embarrassed to go and spend it. I would be mortified if I went into a shop and they said to me, what the fuck is this? But I look at it every day. I've actually got it right next to me. I'm looking at it now and I can just see that woman in the church and I keep thinking, you bastard.
It sounds like you're over it, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. So when you're over something, it's when it doesn't bother you anymore. Exactly like this isn't bothering me anymore, those €2, the fucking bitch. Here's another one, Coma. So what time do you wake up on Christmas Day? Because obviously, you know, when you're a child, you wake up really early. Is that still the same for you?
I mean, not as early as when I was, say, 9. No. I'd say I'd probably wake up about 8, maybe.
The only difference is that at this age, we normally wake up with quite a strong hangover, don't we, Coma?
Oh yeah. But the good thing about Christmas Day is you start drinking again as soon as you wake up. So.
Do you? Is that a normal thing? I definitely don't.
I don't know anyone that doesn't do that. You're the only person that doesn't do that. Do you have like champagne and orange juice mixed together as soon as you wake up?
I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of alcohol at breakfast, to be honest. It just doesn't it's just not a good time of the day for alcohol, really, is it?
You're missing out. It's absolutely brilliant.
So when he says you're missing out there, it means you're sort of losing something because, yeah, it sounds so fantastic. I've been at your house on a normal Saturday anyway, Corporal Coma, when we've been out on Friday and then you wake up on Saturday and immediately start drinking again. So it's just a normal day for you.
Yeah, but it's acceptable on Christmas Day. When I've done that on a Saturday when you're just at my house, there is quite a lot of shame in that.
Yeah, I suppose you've got an excuse there of like, look, it's Christmas. It's like when you came out to see me, well, all the times when you've come out to see me and you drink all day and you say to me, look, I'm on holiday. So, oh, okay, sure, that makes it fine.
Yeah, I mean, it does make it fine. That's you're on holiday. That's what you're doing on holiday. I don't know what you do on holiday.
I think the conclusion that we can come to from this podcast is your excuses are shit, Coma. Like look, mate, it's Christmas. I don't want to pay for this train ticket. Look, I'm on holiday. Can I just drink for every hour that I'm not asleep?
I'm just enjoying life.
Too much. That's the problem. Too much.
I can't be as miserable as you. It's not possible.
Okay, so changing the miserable tone to something happier. What's your favourite Christmas song, Corporal Coma?
Oh, wow. That's I probably needed a bit more time for that one. That's a big one to hit you with.
Well, we can just edit out the thinking time anyway, Coma. Okay, so take your time.
You know what? I think I'm going to go for Spice Girls 2 Become One.
Is that a Christmas song?
Christmas number 1, mate.
Great song, though. Let's just have a little listen of that.
Get it
I'm actually going to apologise to you now, Coma, after just having listened to that again, because that is a fucking great song.
Oh, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So that was a fantastic choice. Even if it's not a Christmas song, good for all times of year.
It was a Christmas number one. That is a Christmas song.
I'm not sure about that. So the last question, Coma, a big one, is do you send Christmas cards?
Oh, I don't.
Because in Britain, I don't know if people know this, but there's a sort of tradition where everyone sends each other Christmas cards, and it's a fucking pain in the neck. So a pain in the neck, something that's annoying, because when someone sends you one, you're then forced to send one back, and it's a bloody nightmare.
Oh, it's an absolute nightmare. One of our friends the other day that lives in America now texted me and said, "Oh, kind of, can I get your address so I can send you a Christmas card?" And I was like, well. Yeah, and I was like, I'm not going to send you one back. Like, I'm not going to ask for your address. I'm not going to send you one back.
For a minute, I didn't know who you were talking about, but that's a mutual friend. He didn't fucking send me a message, the bastard. Where's my Christmas card?
Yeah, but you're unlikable. I'm likable.
What a fucking bastard. But, yeah, it is a fucking nightmare. I even remember at school, it just, in Britain, people are just crazy for cards. There's even cards for when people die.
I hate it, honestly. Cards are the most... I hate everything about them. Like, I don't like getting them. So, and this, like, now when you're like our age, it's your birthday, I get like 3 cards. My mum, my dad, and Mrs. Corporal Coma. That's about it. And I'm happy with that. I don't want any more than that.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one, Coma. Fuck the cards, okay? So, just in case anyone was thinking of sending Corporal Coma or me a Christmas card, don't waste your time, okay? No. Yeah?
Total waste of time, yeah.
Total waste of time. Anyway, that's probably a lovely positive note to end the podcast on. Have a great Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy your Christmas wherever you are.
Yeah, exactly. Corporal Coma and I will be in the pub, actually, when this podcast comes out. Might be a picture of us, okay?
Oh, I can't wait, honestly. Like I said in the Facebook Live the other day, favourite night of the year. It's an amazing night.
Oh, yeah, baby. There we go. We've got something positive there. Favourite night of the year. Great night. Yeah, we're going to have a great time, Coma. I hope all of you have a great time as well. We will see you all soon, and I'm sure I'll see you very soon, Coma.
I'm looking forward to it, mate.
Oh, yeah, baby. See you soon, people. Bye-bye. Okay, so that was me speaking to Corporal Coma about Christmas. How did that go? How were those last 6 minutes? Were you able to swim freely with no armbands? I don't know. But remember, there is the transcript on the website, rockandrollenglish.com. So go there, find it, use it. So let's have a look at that rock and roll vocabulary. At the beginning, I said Corporal Coma is back by popular demand. A lovely term there. Quite simple, I suppose. It just means people want you, so you are back by popular demand. It's quite self-explanatory, really, isn't it? But a nice term to remember. Then Corporal Coma said that I was buttering him up. So if you butter someone up, it's like when you try to make them feel good. Usually when you want something in return. So you say to someone, "Oh, you look so good today. I really like your hair. Have you got some new clothes?" And then you say something like, "Can you lend me £100 because I haven't got any money?" Because you try and make them feel good at the beginning, because then you ask them a favour. Then Corporal Coma and I were speaking about, McDonald's, KFC, stuff like this. And when we said it's called a restaurant, he said, yeah, the term restaurant is used very loosely. It's not like a strict, close definition. Then we were talking about this story about the Germans and the British people during the war that stopped fighting only during Christmas. And Coma said, no, that's a myth. So a myth is like a legend. Sometimes it's true, but generally it's not true. And then I said that Coma just debunked that myth. As I said in the podcast, the most formal word I've ever used. That's the only context you can use that word in, though, as far as I'm aware. You debunk myths. This is the main thing about vocabulary. Learn it in context. Don't try and experiment too much. See the context and use that context, baby. Then, as Coma completely ruined all of our fun, I said that he is a killjoy. Again, quite self-explanatory. A killjoy is someone that kills joy. Usually when you go out to the pub and someone says, "Oh, let's get another drink." And then someone says, "No, look, come on, we've already had 3. And you say, "Oh, come on, don't be such a killjoy. Fuck off." Comer also said that I've become a bit slack in the last few years when I send him a message on his birthday. So when you become a bit slack, it's when you don't meet your previous standards. Maybe I'm becoming slack because I'm taking a 2-3 week break from the Monday podcast. I don't know. I think you can be the judge of that, but I will be back in the new year, as I said, and the podcast will be even better. I just need some time out, I suppose. Anyway, Comer was taking the piss out of me again because I always wear the same jumper, and he said to me, "You're going to get buried in that jumper." So the verb to bury is when you put something under the ground. Dogs bury bones, for example, but generally people can get buried as well when you die. Again, not the nicest thing to talk about. Comer was also telling us about the time where he didn't buy a train ticket and his excuse was, "Oh, it's Christmas." And then he said, yeah, the ticket inspector, he weren't buying it, which means basically he didn't accept his excuse. But notice Corporal Comer said there he weren't buying it, which is actually incorrect grammar. He should have said he wasn't buying it. But as I've said many times on this podcast, native speakers make a lot of mistakes, myself included. I often listen back to the podcast and think, what the fuck did I say there? So everyone makes mistakes, so relax about your mistakes. People just don't notice it when native speakers make mistakes because they speak so confidently. That is a fact, baby. I then said I got mugged off by the church. So a very informal term that means when someone sort of takes advantage of you. If, for example, you download this transcript and then £100 comes out of your bank account from Rock and Roll English, you could say that I mugged you off. Just to say, though, that is definitely 100% not going to happen. It was just the first example that came in my mind. I don't know why. I was then complaining about this, saying how annoyed I am that I have this €2, well, kind of €2 that I can't spend. And Corporal Comer said, well, it sounds like you're over it. Obviously being sarcastic, but when you're over something, that's when you've recovered, when you don't think about it anymore. Just like I'm not thinking about that €2 that the church stole from me. Corporal Comer then said that I'm missing out if I don't drink on Christmas Day. If you're missing out on something, it's like you're missing something, really. It's the same. When I was young, for example, and all of my friends would go out on a Friday, I would always go as well because I was worried about missing out on the fun. I didn't want to miss the fun. Anyway, that's all of the rock and roll vocabulary for today. Remember, it's all on the website with the transcript, which is 100% free. No money will be taken from your bank account. I haven't even got your bank account details, but even if I did, I wouldn't steal the money. I hope that you would know that by now. Just don't give your bank details to any church bazaars, okay? Because they do mug people off. Anyway, have a great Christmas. Have a great New Year, everyone. I will be back again talking rubbish to a friend, probably around the 7th or the 14th of January, okay? Depends how long I need to recharge my batteries. Anyway, as I said, have a happy Christmas, New Year, all of that stuff. Go crazy, drink a lot, eat a lot, but most importantly, just keep on rocking, baby.
Thanks so much for listening to Rock and Roll English. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit rockandrollenglish.com and facebook.com/rockandrollenglish. We'll catch you next time.